morning. It is morning here on my side. Good afternoon if you're watching this in the afternoon, and good evening. It's your girl Zamukrolo Madungandaba, also known as Maddie T, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I've been waiting to say that my whole life, right? No, guys. Actually, I'd like to welcome you to my podcast called Maddie on Everything. So welcome to Maddie on Everything. It's a new podcast that I'm launching, that I've started just to basically engage on everything. So a little bit about me before we get into Maddie on Everything. So who is Maddie? What is this all about? I mean, let's just get into that. So as I said, my name is Zamukolo Tenjue Madungandaba, but everyone calls me Zama. And I also have a stage name because I am a performing and recording artist, and that stage name is Maddie T. So hence, Maddie on Everything, because I think it's Maddie who you guys are engaging with these days. Or is it Zama, or is it a combination of everyone? I don't know. But nonetheless, so that's who I am. So I'm Zama, also known as Maddie T. Where I grew up in Pretoria. I'm from Pretoria, Atteridgeville. That is where I've lived my entire life. So I'm a Cap City queen. And where I went to school Waterkloof Primary School, and then I went to Crawford College in Pretoria as well. And then I finally did my tertiary education at the University of the Witwatersrand here in Johannesburg, where this podcast is currently being shot. So that is where I did my BCom, where I majored in marketing, insurance and risk management, as well as economic theory. And then I did my postgraduate LLB at the University of the Witwatersrand, where I did my postgraduate LLB. And then I also did a higher certificate in fashion at Lysof. It was called Lysof at the time, but now it is called Stadio. So that is a little bit more about my educational background, where I went to school, what I studied at school. So you know a little bit more about who I am and what to expect from this podcast. So just for you guys to also have a little bit of a deeper understanding about me and my passions and what to expect from Maddie on Everything, is I love helping people. So anything that can assist people or improve people's lives, I want to be a part of. I'm a big believer of servant leadership. So I'm big on leadership, but servant leadership. So in any way which I can be in service to others, that brings me lots of joy. And also, I'm thirsty for knowledge. So anything that would enhance a worldview or enhance a perspective, I want to be a part of that too. And I wish that this podcast could definitely do that as well. Quench people's thirsts for knowledge, as well as improve their worldviews and perspective. I'm also very passionate about business. So I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I think you will get to know a little bit more about all the projects that I do, all the businesses that I've been involved with as we go into this podcast, and you hear a little bit more about me. But I'm an entrepreneur myself. So definitely you can expect to see entrepreneurs on the show. On the podcast, you can expect to hear about, business and, things of a commercial nature. And then, of course, art. So as I mentioned, I have a stage name. I'm a performing artist. And really anything in relation to music, dance, drama, fine arts, anything related to the creative economy, you can also expect to hear about that on this podcast. So yes, a little bit on the saturated side with the rest of the things that I'm passionate about, but it is what I am passionate about: lifestyle, fashion, politics, and current affairs as well. So you guys definitely are going to get the entire package. And we have not scratched the surface. So I think that would be a good introduction, or excuse me, a good way for you guys to anticipate what you can expect on this podcast by just understanding what it is I'm passionate about and what topics I find particularly interesting. So now back a little bit more on the podcast itself. Why Maddie on everything? So before I was thinking starting this podcast, I wanted to do Maddie on legals because I'm a lawyer, and that's something else that you guys will probably get to know about. But I thought to do Maddie on legals, but I knew that I felt that it was a little bit channelizing to me to maybe just focus only on the law. So I decided to do Maddie on everything because I didn't want to limit the scope of the type of topics that we could cover. And I want that to be clear from the onset for anyone who's listening or watching, to say that there's a number of podcasts that focus on very particular things, very particular themes. But in this instance, I don't want to lie to anybody. Whatever comes, whatever goes. Whatever comes, whatever goes. So we are not going to limit ourselves. We are leaving no stone unturned. If there's something that you want to know about, something that you feel that I should talk about, then please don't even be shy to drop it in the comments, or, let me know what you think we should be, talking about. We wish to be relatable. So we want this podcast to be relatable to everyone who listens. And obviously, it's not going to just be crazy, like just talking about all types of random things. It will be structured. We will have, a themed kind of topic and, for the particular episode, but we'll also delve into some current affairs as well as music reviews and the likes, art reviews, reviews of shows, reviews of movies, things like that. Because, like I said, art is very important to me, so you can expect that on the show as well. And the rest of it will grow organically, and you can definitely expect interviews as well. So I won't just be alone all the time. Some I'll be alone, some will have people that we can engage with, experts, and maybe just regular people, who are making moves or who are knowledgeable in a particular field. So I hope it has given you a little bit of, this introduction has given you a little bit of an idea of what to expect on Maddie on everything. And I hope you join the team, the family, and let's see how it all goes. So without further ado, let's get into episode 1. All right, guys, welcome to episode 1 of Maddie on Everything. So today I have got a particular theme for you that I think, or a topic for you that I think everybody in life needs to know or struggles with sometimes. And it is the big weight loss tips and weight loss management, guys. So today's topic is all about weight loss and weight management. So this is the little bit of nuggets that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I am going to be sharing with you my top 10 tips in this regard. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, what makes you an expert to now talk about weight loss and all that? Okay, so a little bit about my journey. So I basically have been on a weight loss, weight management journey since I can pretty much remember, even in high school. But when I really started taking it seriously, I would say is from September 2018. So this year is my 6th year of being sort of like, a gym bunny or a health and fitness lifestyle type of, connoisseur. So I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not, I did not do any form of sports management or anything like that. I'm just someone who's passionate about, looking good, feeling healthy, feeling good inside and out. So that is the reason why I thought this would be a great topic. And especially because I've been on social media, I check Instagram, I check, Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of people do complain about, weight loss, wanting to lose weight, and, especially from COVID, where a lot of people were kind of locked up in the house, and, they were just sort of, just eating, not really exercising, and a lot of people have gained weight. There's a lot of people who've had kids, for example. I don't have any kids yet, but there's a lot of people who have kids and who may be struggling to shed weight after having kids and things of that nature. And sometimes it's also just, you're in a certain phase in your life where, you're just so busy, or maybe you've lost, a family member, you're going through some form of grief. Maybe there's been a divorce, or maybe, like I say, a death. And that also leads people into, not really taking care of themselves, or sometimes letting themselves go. So that is me today. Weight loss is not really just about losing weight per se and weight management, but it's also just about feeling good about yourself, feeling confident about yourself. That's really where it's coming from and what it's about, feeling good and confident about yourself, and also your health as well. So obviously we know, guys, that when you are obese, there is a higher chance of various diseases that you expose yourself to, whether it's, diabetes or stroke and cholesterol and things of that nature. So, managing your weight is not just a superficial thing or a superficial activity that I'm presenting to you because I think, oh, look good, lose weight, because, everyone's got to be skinny. No, it's just about taking care of yourself, improving your health, and actually improving your longevity on this earth. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So my top 10 tips for weight loss and weight management. I'm going to start with this. With weight loss, they say it's a simple equation, right? So they say essentially you just have to burn more calories than you consume. Okay, cool. That it's a simple equation. It's math. Google that. It's scientific. Burn more calories than you consume, you will lose weight. But let's get deeper. So my tip number 1 is that it is not a one size fits all situation. So I just want to highlight to everybody that what worked for your friend might not work for you. And you need to understand that. What worked for Bob might not work for Steve. You need to understand that. You are an individual. You have a specific DNA. You have a specific chromosomal makeup. The doctors, please, am I saying that correctly? But you have a certain makeup that makes you you. Hence, we have fingerprints. No other person has your fingerprint. You are an individual. So that's what I want to say to people. It is not a one size fits solution. You need to find what works for you. And that is my number 1 tip for weight loss. You need to find what works for you. You can find a situation where everyone's talking about keto, everyone's talking about paleo, you know what I mean? Don't eat carbs, don't do this. And you're like, I love bread, I can't leave carbs. I love chips, I can't leave carbs. Find what works for you, because what works for you might be completely different from the other person. Also, people have different conditions. Some people might be anemic. Some people might have diabetes. Some people might not have anything. So obviously you have to look at what works best for your lifestyle. So that is my first tip. Tip number 2. So my second tip, if you want to manage your weight, is water is your friend. So I believe in water. So water is your bestie. You should avoid drinking your calories. So that is one of the tips that I got in my journey is avoid drinking your calories. What this means is liquids, generally do not have high nutritional value. So if you are on a weight loss journey and let's say you're having your breakfast and then you have a highly concentrated fruit juice with it, you're adding more calories through the liquid. You know what I mean? And at lunch, you're having a healthy lunch and then maybe you have a milkshake, you're adding more calories to your diet with the liquid. So it's very important to see how are we actually drinking our calories. So hence I say water is your best friend, because water is 0 calories and your body is made up of what percentage of water? Not sure. Someone needs to confirm that for me. But majority water. They say your body is made up of majority water. So your body needs hydration to function and to deliver the best, to deliver oxygen to your lungs and your heart and to pump at a high rate. So water is your best friend. And I know water can be very boring for some of us who really are sweet tooths or like sugary beverages. Try to find alternatives. So one of the big things that I do with water sometimes is I'll put lemon in it just to give it a little bit of flavor. Plain water with some lemon. I've seen people also putting some different types of fruits, whether it's strawberries or vegetables like cucumber, just to give the water a little bit of a different flavor so that you can drink more of it. The recommended daily intake of water is 2 liters, but it does change according to what your weight is. So if you are higher in weight, then you would probably need to drink more water. But essentially, water is your best friend, especially for weight loss and weight management, because as you are drinking water, you are flushing out those toxins. You are flushing out that fat that goes out through your urine. So it is a good way to detoxify and to flush out all these toxins in our body. And of course, aiding your weight loss journey by being your go-to drink that is 0 calories. So that is my tip number 2. And then but just to add on to that tip as well, look at other drinks that have high contents of water. For example, if you're having tea, so don't forget that having tea is also, just a tea bag and water. So that's cool. And if you're having coffee as well, a lot of it is water. So don't, limit those kinds of drinks, like iced tea and all that, but kind of avoid, the highly processed like sugar drinks and rather opt for more water-based drinks. Yes. Now moving on. So now tip number 3 for weight loss and weight management is consistency beats intensity. So that for me is just very important for people to know that, sometimes people will say, okay, I'm on a weight loss journey or weight management journey, and they a person was eating burgers and everything, and then they just completely change. And they're just I'm eating salad today, I'm eating. And then the next thing you know, they've quit in the middle of their diet because they went so intense with the diet. It was so different to how they were operating before. So I just need to highlight that consistency is better than intensity. So if you do one small change consistently, it is better than trying to intensely do something that might be unsustainable. That goes for working out as well. So I made an example with, your diet, but even when you work out, if you are someone who is new to gym and you go to gym and you're like, I am going to max out on this treadmill, or no, please do not do that, because that is what is going to make you not want to come back. It is what's going to make you hurt yourself. So be more consistent. If you say to yourself that, you know what, I wake up at 5 every morning, I'm on the treadmill for 30 minutes, even if I'm walking. If you do that for 3 months, you'll be good. It's better than go to the gym 1 month, I'm jogging, I'm running, it's something that's making me very tired, but then you cannot sustain it, right? So being consistent, showing up daily is better than showing up for 2 weeks and then never showing up again. So I hope that lands with you guys. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is specifically for when you are working out. So guys, I would definitely say for weight loss and weight management, just to add that if it's not very clear, I would definitely say it's a combination of diet and physical activity. So if you're looking at managing your weight just from a diet perspective, cool, it will work out, sure. But if you really want to see those consistent results and kind of even want to improve yourself, I would definitely include physical activity as well. So now that is my tip number 4. If you're at the gym, I would say form over weight. So that is my tip number 4, form over weight. So sometimes you find that you're at the gym and, you want to, build your muscles so quickly and whatnot. And so you take a 10 kg dumbbell and another 10 kg dumbbell, and you are trying to lift these dumbbells, and literally you can't, or you can, but the thing is you're moving funny. That's not recommended, guys. So take down the weights. Some people are afraid of looking like, I'm a strong, or like I'm a sissy. Even for the gents, even for the guys, don't just go there, pick up a 12 kg dumbbell. Work on your form. Work on your form. So form is more important than weight. Once you get your form correct and know which muscles you need to work and how you need to be, what positions you need to be holding, how you need to stand, that is more important than actually how much weight. So you need to check your form for if you want to do a deadlift. You want to check your form if you want to do a bicep curl. What is the correct form? How am I supposed to be holding my arms? And there's like tons of videos on YouTube about form. Tons, So work on your form first, and then you can start adding weights. So that is my tip number 4. Tip number 5 for weight loss and management is cardio and strength work best together. So, ladies and gentlemen, some people say, should I run or, should I lift weights? So upon my research and reading on this topic, they say that, strength training is the one of the best ways of actually managing your weight and losing fat, because with strength training, you're building your muscles, which means that you are having a calorie burn for much longer after you are done with your workout. So that is why they recommend strength training. Whereas if you're doing cardio, you are burning only at that time. So if you're running, you are burning during that time where you're running. Whereas if you're doing strength training, because of those tears in your muscles that need to recover and then build, it requires more calories from you. So strength training is what is recommended. But if you take it even more, they recommend high intensity training, high intensity interval training, which is basically a combination of doing cardio and strength. So cardio is all about raising your heart rate and, basically cardiovascular activity. So raising your heart rate, jumping around, running, that kind of, activities. And with HIIT training, they basically, it's strength training, but they shorten your breaks in between. Because normal strength training, you just, take your time, but with HIIT, they shorten your breaks in between, which also has the effect of raising your heart rate. So it's a good combination of cardio and strength. So that's, in my personal opinion, what I think would be the best kind of workout is one that incorporates both cardio and strength. So now, tip number 6 for me is you cannot outrun a bad diet. So that is my number 6. You cannot outrun a bad diet. So guys, if you are, we're speaking here about weight loss and weight management specifically, right? So I'm not speaking to the guys who want to do gains right now, because obviously there's a lot of people who want to gain. There's a lot of people who are struggling to put on weight, but I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking about the people who are struggling to lose weight, right? So you cannot outrun a bad diet. So if you are going to the gym every morning and you're there, you're doing your HIIT, you're doing your cardio mixed with your strength training, you are there consistently, But when you're done, you're like, oh my gosh, I am so hungry. I'm just going to go over there and like eat like uncontrollably, or just eat the burger, eat the sandwich. You know what I mean? Just sort of feeling that I worked. So because I worked, I deserve this. Yeah, sure, you deserve it. But you are not going to achieve the results that you want to achieve if you do not focus on your diet. Like, diet is a very, very important thing, right? So you have to focus on your diet. And I don't mean like trying to like cut your diet. It goes back to tip number 1. You need to find what works for you. It's not a one size fits all solution. And you need to be willing to put in the work of being experimental with regards to what's going to work for you. You know what I mean? So definitely, guys, you cannot outrun a bad diet. I've seen it myself. You want to run 10Ks and then go eat a burger afterwards. You're just putting it right back on. So you've got to find a way, it goes back to the equation that, consume less than what you burn, or burn more than what you consume. So, which then brings me to tip number 7, following on from cannot outrun a bad diet, is intermittent fasting. That is my tip number 7 for you guys today in terms of weight loss and weight management. So intermittent fasting, some people may have heard about it, some people may not have heard about it, but essentially it is quite popular now. I've been doing intermittent fasting since 2018. So it started off as 12-8. So there's different intervals. Guys, read up about it. I'm just obviously sharing my tips with you. But yeah, there's different intervals. So I started with the 12-8 interval, which is essentially, not 12-8, 16-8 interval, right? So there's 24 hours in a day. And that's basically how they break it up to say, okay, when I talk about 16-8, it means that for 16 hours in the day, I'm fasting. And then for 8 hours in the day, I can eat whatever I want to eat. So that will definitely assist you in managing your diet. So even if you want to eat your burgers, you know that, okay, I eat my burgers between this time and this time. So how I started with my fasting was I wouldn't eat before 12 midday. And doing the 12 to 8 interval is exactly that. So after 8 p.m. at night, you also cannot eat, So you eat between 12 and 8. There's different types of variations. I've experimented with all types of them, even one meal a day. Like even when you get to, a certain stage in the journey, you can get there, I did a lot of like research, seeing people on Instagram, it's called OMAD, and they're happy with it. Literally, they will fast the whole day and they will eat in a 1 hour interval. So it's like a 23-1 sort of ratio, 23 hours of fasting and 1 hour of eating, OMAD. So there's different things that you can, try from the intermittent fasting perspective. And that will definitely assist you from a diet perspective, because, obviously giving yourself that time, you can genuinely reduce your caloric intake by just setting specific times for when you can actually eat. Check if it works for you, check in on your energy levels. And like I say, it's also just a process. Cool. So number 8 on my tips is stress management. Guys, weight loss and weight management requires stress management. So stress not reduces. Sorry. Stress induces a certain hormone in our bodies called cortisol. So this cortisol hormone, known as the stress hormone, is also associated with the trapping of fat. So the more that there's cortisol in your body, the more that your body actually wants to retain fat and retain calories. So it is imperative, my people, that you reduce your stress. So for me, my number 1 tip for that is yoga and meditation. Sometimes we take it so for granted, we really do take it for granted what a little bit of deep breathing can do for you. I mean, just like, did you guys get that? Like, I was just like, yeah, chill, relax. You need to release, do a bit of yoga, stretch. Because your body carries a lot of tension. We go to work, we're driving, you're stuck in traffic, whatever reasons. I mean, even doing the strength training itself produces cortisol in your body. So you need to find ways to de-stress, whether that's a walk in nature, doing a bit of yoga, a little bit of deep breathing, so that your body doesn't feel tense and actually allows for that weight loss. You with me? All right, cool. And number 9 in my top 10 tips for weight loss and weight management is love yourself, guys. That's my number 9. I think it should have been my number 1, but I think you get it. And love yourself. You've got to love yourself in every part of this process, at every stage of this journey. You know, a lot of the times people also are so hard on themselves. If you tell yourself, look, I'm going to do keto for 7 days or a month, and then, you know, you find yourself eating your carbs, eating a nice big burger. I keep talking about burgers. You find yourself eating a big burger and you feel so bad. You feel like, oh my gosh, I'm no good. I ruined this. And what is the effect of this? People give up. For example, if you go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym every day for this month. And by, day 5 of going every day, you're like, I'm really tired. And then you're like, oh my gosh, okay, and then you don't go on day 6. And then because you didn't go, you're like, oh, I didn't go on day 6. I'm ill-disciplined. And then you just don't go to gym. So you need to love yourself. You need to talk to yourself with compassion at every stage of the journey. And you need to be able to pick yourself back up. So you need to be able to recognize that, you know what, if I know I said I want to go to gym every day of this month, but hey, my body needs rest. I'm tired. I'm only just a human. So I'm going to rest today, rest tomorrow, and I'll pick it up on Monday. So be kind to yourself. Sometimes you're not losing weight as fast as you would like to. Be kind to yourself. Be kind. Even that area that you're working on, that insecurity that you're working on, be able to just love yourself anyway. Even if you want that flat tummy, the one that everyone has because they got liposuction, but you want that naturally. Don't be hard on yourself because, you don't have that for now. Work on yourself. Work on your core. Work on doing the ab exercises. And trust me, the results will be there eventually, So just love yourself in every part of your journey and every part of your process. Cool. And really be careful how you talk to yourself. And my number 10 tip for weight loss management and weight management is invest in knowledge and technology. So shout out to you for actually watching this, because this is you investing in knowledge. This is you saying, okay, I want to know a little bit more about this. So nice. But also, guys, I did a lot of reading magazines, the women's health. I did a lot of research on the internet as well. So you really want to invest in your knowledge, talking to people. I had a personal trainer for 2 years. Not everyone can afford a personal trainer, but, just invest in getting to know things. I mean, even if you go to a group class, ask the trainer, is my form correct? And like I said, investing in knowledge and technology. So if you are very serious about your weight loss journey, I would recommend to you to invest in technology. Myself, I have a smartwatch from Garmin. I have a scale. It's called, okay, I don't know what it's called, but I will let you guys know. But essentially, I have a scale that actually measures my body fat when I step on it. And it tells me my BMI. It's linked on my phone with an app. So that is really helpful. It tells me how much water is in my body. It tells me what's my BMR, my basal metabolic rate. So various things like that, guys. If you really want to take it seriously, you should really invest in the knowledge and the technology. There's also various applications that I would recommend to you guys as well. So looking at things like MyFitnessPal, where it's a food logging app. So you can actually log what you're eating and actually see your calories. So you know that, okay, I have a goal of maybe eating 4,000 calories in a day or 5,000 calories in a day. That's what I want to eat. And as you log every single meal or whatever, it takes it away. So those are the kinds of applications and technology that I personally have used in my life that have helped me to sustain a 10 kilogram weight loss, essentially. So, just for those who wanting to know that, yes, when I was at my highest, when I started this journey, I was on 70 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds. And now today I average 60, 61, 59. So that's where I'm at. And these are the kinds of things that have assisted me. So guys, those are my top 10 tips, but it's Maddie. Maddie got to be extra a little bit. I'm going to just give you some bonus things that I just think for us to close it off in terms of this topic is to say that, guys, it's a journey, not a destination. And I really feel like it is really a lifestyle. So that is how you will see real change happening, and real change takes time. So this is a journey. It's not like, okay, I want to lose 5 kgs. Once I've lost 5 kgs, cool, I can go back to just living however, because then you're just going to get the weight back. You know what I'm saying? So it really is a journey, and it is a lifestyle. And I really want to urge everyone to invest in really just living it, not making it a thing of, okay, in 2 months, I just want to lose 5 kgs. Because what happens once you've gotten that 5 kgs? What happens once you've lost that 5 kgs? You know what I mean? So really make sure that you are able to maintain the lifestyle. Like I said, having sustainable solutions for you. And that's me on my top 10 tips for weight loss and weight management. I hope they helped you. And let's see what I have for you next time.